ICI. I request the Honorable President and Vice President of ICI to now welcome with a bouquet of flowers and by presenting a memento to CA Piyush Goyal, one of our fraternity members, a chartered accountant, respected Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Textiles. He is the leader of the House in Rajya Sabha. And the memento. Thank you very much, sir. I request the President and Vice President ICI to now welcome Mr. Praful Pancheria, representing the Government of Gujarat. Praful Bhai Pancheria is the Honorable Minister of State, Parliamentary Affairs, Primary, Secondary and Adult Education, Higher Education, Government of Gujarat. Thank you very much. And President, Vice President ICI may also welcome with bouquet and memento Ms. Asma Razmouki, President, IFAC. IFAC is the International Federation of Accountants, which is the global voice for the professional accountancy world. Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you very much. Also on stage, we have with us immediate past President ICI, CA Devashish Mitra, and Secretary ICI, CA Dr. Jay Kumar Batra. Thank you very much. May I request all the dignitaries to kindly light the lamp, as is the Indian tradition. Start the auspicious Vyopak with lamp lighting ceremony, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. We sincerely pray that the light of the lamp illuminates everyone's life and brings health and wealth. And also what you heard in the background was Saraswati Vandana. Goddess Saraswati is the goddess of learning and knowledge, and I'm sure Sri can mention there will be a lot of enriching knowledge being shared. And goddess is also the goddess of music. So we will have the soft power of India also on display. Thank you everyone. And now I'd like to invite on stage CA Ranjit Kumar Agarwal, Vice President ICI, for his welcome speech. Sir.
Very respected our chief guest and the Vice President of a world largest democracy, Jagdeep Dhankhar sir, we had the privilege to hosting him as a Governor of West Bengal also in Calcutta. We have our Chartered Accountant, Minister, and playing so many roles in government and outside government, CA Piyush Goyal ji. And he has done so many things. It's a long list, but two initiatives I would like to highlight in front of all of you. The LED bulb, when he was the Minister of Power, the world's largest distribution system of LED bulb, he has invented. And he had oversaw the PLI scheme, how the India can be a manufacturing hub. The whole support and contribution in PLI scheme goes to our CA Piyush Goyal sir. We have one of the youngest president of our institute in last 75 years, CNK Sunil Talati. Such an outstanding, innovative technocrat, and the kind of thought process he is bringing to the table, I hope everybody in our profession agree he is the brightest chartered accountant as a president of our institute. We have Honorable Minister Praful Panseriya. We have immediate past president, under whose leadership we have witnessed unprecedented World Congress of Accountants in Mumbai last year, Dr. Devashish Mitra. There are 182 accounting bodies of the world, and there is an organization called International Federation of Accountants, and you will be glad to know that the person who is heading this International Federation of Accountants is none other than a woman, a lady, Asma Smokiji. She has come by traveling many countries to this India. We have our CEO of the Institute, CA Dr. Jay Batradi, all the council colleagues, past president, leaders from the chapter who has come from outside India, leaders of our branches and regional council. We have very, very respected 4,400 delegates sitting in this hall. I welcome all of you in this first ever. We have hosted World Congress of Accountants first time in India last year, and we used to have international conference. But first time we have structured this program on the line of World Congress of Accountants. You will agree it's a magnificent event which we are witnessing first time in the land of Mahatma Gandhi, in the land of our Prime Minister, and in the land of our President of ICI, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. I welcome all of you in this first ever Global Professional Accountant Convention. This audience, as a Vice President of this institute, I am feeling proud. These 4,400 delegates, in which 150 delegates has come from 28 countries, and in next 2.5 days, 150 speakers spread across 32 sessions will enrich yourself, will enrich others, and we set a different yardstick and benchmark for the profession in the coming years. If you see the ICI strength, we have 4 lakh chartered accountants and 8.5 lakh students. If you join together, 12.5 lakh member family, which has now become, out of 182 accounting body, the largest accounting body of the world. If you see the strength of ICI, we have 5 regional councils, 171 branches, 48 foreign chapters, where 40,000 chartered accountants are working outside India and bringing laurel to this country. I can see lots of women chartered accountants also in this audience. In our issue, without any reservation, out of 4 lakh members, 29% are women chartered accountants. Out of 8.5 lakh students, 43% are girls CA doing the chartered accountants. And that's why, if you see the theme of this conference, connecting globe and creating value. I remember an economist from European Union, Angus Madison. He was given the project to write the world economy of 2000 years, starting from 0 to 2000 years. And this paper is on the OECD website. He has written, in first 1500 years, 0 to 1500, the world economy, the total contribution of India was 67%. First 1500 years, we were the leader of the world. Then the invasion came, Mughals came, England came, all these things are history. But now we are in the era where we are reinventing the wheel. And we are reinventing the wheel in the sense that the role and the responsibility of the chartered accountant of this country, 4 lakh CA, they are contributing in the growth and development of this country like never before. We have almost $4 trillion economy and we are almost 4 lakh CA. Now we are witnessing 75 years of existence. We are planning what will be the institute for next 25 years. When India will be the developed country in 2047, we will be after 2 years celebrate 100 years. So $1 trillion economy need 1 lakh chartered accountant. That is the capacity and the capability we have to contribute the growth of this country. And that's why when you will deliberate 2.5 days on the various topics, I pose 3 questions to all of you in the context. What is the role of the chartered accountant in a country like India? These 3 questions are, if not now, when? If not here, where? And if not you, who? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your motivating words, CA Ranjit Kumar Agarwalji, Vice President ICI. And now for his speech, may I invite on the dais CA Aniket Sunil Talati, respected President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
भारत के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति, the chief guest of today's function, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Honorable Vice President of India. Such an august office. He chairs the Rajya Sabha. He has so many responsibilities. But sir, today, on behalf of the entire Council of the Institute, let me thank you with most sincerity. And it was truly a delight 15 minutes prior when we had the opportunity to receive you. The warmth with which you interacted with all of our council members, sir, truly it is inspirational, and thank you very, very much for so many responsibilities. But sir, today, on behalf of the entire council of the Institute, let me thank you with most sincerity. And it was truly a delight 15 minutes prior when we had the opportunity to receive you. The warmth with which you interacted with all of our council members, sir, truly it is inspirational, and thank you very, very much for gracing this occasion. The guest of honor for today's function, our very own chartered accountant, rank holder. I'm sure we would have missed something at that point that sir came AIR 2. Sir, you truly were AIR 1 in all aspects and represent the profession at the best. The Honorable Union Minister for Commerce, Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Textiles, Shri Piyush Goyal ji. Let's give him a big round of applause, sir. Your connect with the membership, with the students, with our overseas chapters, with our branches is truly incredible. And sir, today you will all notice that Honorable Sir is the Union Minister, and by protocol he would have sat next to the Honorable Vice President. But such is Sir's humility ever since entering. He says, no, Aniket, you're the President of ICI and you sit here. Sir, truly, truly grateful to you for the kind of affection that you have for the Institute. Shri Praful Pancheria ji, Honorable Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, Primary, Secondary and Adult Education of Government of Gujarat. the president of IFAC, who leads all 180 accounting bodies across the world. And thank you, Madam Asma Rasmuki, for making it here and representing the entire global accounting community in this Global Professional Accountants Convention. The Honorable Vice President, our immediate past President, the Secretary and CEO of the Institute, Jai Batraji, senior officials of the Government of India, a galaxy of past presidents who are here, my regional council colleagues, branch managing committee members, dignitaries, members of my beloved profession and respected audience, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to my home state of Gujarat in the city of Gandhinagar. On behalf of ICI, I am extremely thrilled and elated to welcome all of you to this Mahatma Mandir. Today, the entire accountancy profession is deeply honored by the presence of our Honorable Vice President and Commerce and Industry Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji, and along with him, the Minister of State from Gujarat, Shri Praful Panchera ji. This year is truly special, not only because we are celebrating the 75th year of the Institute and 75 years of trust or 75 saal Vishwas ke, but it is special because India got the privilege to preside over the G20, and we could showcase to the world that India's time has arrived and the time for leadership lies in India. It was the result of and the able guidance and foresightedness of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji that India not only achieved the presidency, but also succeeded in hosting it in a wonderful manner, and the whole world has applauded the amazing hosting of G20. Furthermore, we all got a matter of pride for us, and especially for the accounting profession too, as we work very closely with PAFA, that in the G20, we now have the African Union who has gotten included in the G20 group. And the Institute too is working very closely with the Pan-Africa Federation of Accountants and all our colleagues in Africa, so that as an accounting body, which is 4 lakh members, 8.5 lakh students, we say this in Africa, we are not there to compare, we are not there to compete, but we are there to collaborate. And I'm sure the Indian accountancy profession, as we have spread in the Middle East, in Europe and in North America, in Africa too, we will have a very strong collaboration and coordination. Friends, as it was mentioned, India has now become the 5th largest economy of the world, and we are moving towards the 3rd largest in the next couple of years. And therefore, with the G20 and the rise in our economy, India is becoming an attractive destination for foreign direct investments. This, ladies and gentlemen, gives the rise to need of global professional networking. And more importantly, when we are here in Gandhinagar, with the GIFT City and the IFSCA next to us, when the foreign direct investment is coming in India, let us all aspire for the day that we no longer have to go through foreign jurisdictions for investments coming into India, but our own jurisdiction in GIFT City, in IFSCA, can be used. And with all the chapters, with all the international presence, we can ensure that investments coming in India, with the attractiveness that GIFT City and IFSCA offers, can be taken up. Respected sirs, I recall last year, ICI hosted a carbon-neutral World Congress of Accountants, and the theme for that was Building Trust, Enabling Sustainability. This was held in India for the first time in 118 years and witnessed participants from over 120 countries. It was this World Congress that gave us the inspiration and the confidence to imagine as the Council together an event of this magnitude. And therefore, today we have in front of us 4,500 chartered accountants who are sitting and representing various parts of India and the globe in what is today being known as the Global Professional Accountants Convention, or GLOPAC. For me, GLOPAC stands for, the G in GLOPAC stands for growth towards a $5 trillion economy. L stands for leadership in sustainability and sustainable development goals. O is a representation of the oldest Vishwaguru in India and the Vishwaguru that we wish to be, not just in the fields of science, but also in the field of accounting. P starts and means partner in nation building, an anecdote which is stuck with this profession ever since APJ Abdul Kalam ji gave us this quote of being partners in nation building. A stands for advancements towards digital transformation, and C stands for connectivity through global networking. And sir, walking on the footprints of the theme Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, GloPac is not just a conventional gathering of accountants, but a platform that serves global networking and deliberate ideas about emerging issues that face the accounting profession. Colleagues, with the advent of artificial intelligence, there is always a question that is being posed to the accountancy profession, whether AI is going to replace or disrupt accountants. It is my firm belief that in this era of information, disinformation, and misinformation, where there is access to plethora of information in just a clip of a button, with technologies such as deepfake and so many other artificial intelligence tools, which are not only manipulating data, but make it difficult to identify what is true and correct and what is not. I believe professional accountants are the best positioned profession to deliver good data, reliable reporting, support decision-making, and leadership. We not only have the requisite skills and qualifications to call out what is true and correct, but we also enjoy the incredible trust of the people of the nation. And therefore, I think in this era of artificial intelligence, it is going to be chartered accountants who are going to lead from the front. Friends, in life, it is said that you can have plan B, but you will never have planet B. And therefore, it is important that we all realize the importance of sustainability and sustainable development goals. The Honorable Prime Minister has given the Panchamrit with focus on net zero by 2070. I am confident, as the Honorable Vice President mentioned, that we are working on our Vision 2049, and we are confident as a council that by that year, the institute and the entire profession will also be carbon neutral by 2049 when ICI turns 100 years. Friends, the initiative of ICI on sustainability and the Sustainability Reporting Standards Board, which was set up 3 years ago, has truly today matured and is recognized internationally. Honorable Sirs, I'm delighted to mention to you that the United Nations in UNCTAD gave us the ISR honors for the sustainability initiative that the Institute is doing. And this showcases our commitment towards sustainability. ICI has always ensured integrity, transparency, and professionalism of professional practices in India, enhancing the credibility of financial information and fostering trust amongst investors, regulators, and the public. Today, as we move forward our role of partnering nation building, I'm delighted to mention, sir, that the Institute carries on a very important task of building finance and tax literacy in the country through a unique initiative called Vittiya Gyan, ICI Ka Abhiyan, which is run in 12 different languages and promotes not just financial literacy, but very importantly, tax literacy, and why it is important for our country to have the best tax GDP ratio. Friends, in connection with education, because the Institute, apart from being a regulator, a standard setter of accounting, auditing, ethical, and valuation and forensic standards, we are a standard setter, we are a regulator, but we are also an educator of 8.5 lakh students. And it is in this regard that the Institute provides 75% concession in registration courses for all levels of Chartered Accountant course to students registering from the Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, and all northeastern states and Andaman and Nicobar. This is our commitment to having an all-round development of India and taking the profession to every nook and corner of India. As I conclude, I would say there is a quote which I've always heard since I used to do chartered accountancy. Think global, act local. But our noble profession, I think the time has come to think global, act noble, but also be vocal for local. And therefore, I think the time is right for all of us as we get together in this Mahatma Mandir dedicated to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, that we all resolve that we become largest accounting bodies, not just as an institute, but within us emerges the large accounting bodies of the world. And for that, the Institute and the entire Council is steadfastly committed to creating large Indian firms. But As I always say at the end, it will require efforts from each one of us. It is not just the ICI which can do this. And therefore, I urge each one of you to say and feel that I am the I in ICAI. शुरुआत भी आपसे, अंत भी आपसे, इंस्टीट्यूट भी आप, इंडिया भी आप. जय हिंद, जय ICAI.
Thank you very much, CA Aniket Sunil Talati, President ICI, for sharing your thoughts and also interesting perspective on what acronym GLOPAC could stand for. Thank you very much. It's time now to invite the guest of honor for the inaugural session, CA Piyush Goyal, to share his address, the Honorable Union Minister for Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food Distribution, and Textiles.
Thank you. It is indeed a matter of great privilege for me personally and for all of us assembled here today that we have the very, very illustrious, accomplished, and true son of the soil who has served this nation honorably for decades, the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, who is also the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and under whose leadership, under whose guidance, we are able to do policy making, law making, and ensure the strong wheels of democracy in the country work for the benefit of 1.4 billion Indians. Of course, Mr. Dhankhar comes with a very rich legacy from the legal profession, one of the most accomplished and well-known legal luminaries the country has ever produced. And we are indeed very, very proud to have you, sir, amidst our midst. Shri Praful Pancheria, Honorable Minister, Government of Gujarat, Shri Aniket Talati, who with his ever-smiling, charming face can, I think, influence any of us to come at short notice anywhere in the country or across the world. And I say this because I had the privilege of probably inaugurating more chapters of the Institute across the globe than anybody else would have had. But truly, Aniket, under your leadership, you make us all proud of the good work the Institute is doing. And I'm sure as we entered the 75th year of our inception, this is a very crucial phase in the history of the Institute, and you will continue to give stewardship to this important era through which the Institute is growing. Shri Ranjit Kumar Agarwal ji, Vice President, Ms. Asma Mauki, President, International Federation of Accountants, Shri Dr. Debashish Mitra, again somebody with whom I've had a lot of work through the last year, and another person who had a right of refusal on me, right of first refusal on me. He could always call me at short notice, and I hope I was always there.
You are always there, sir.
Our Secretary, Dr. Jaykumar Batra, all the very distinguished members of the Council, all the very distinguished chartered accountants and other professionals who have joined for this probably first of its kind Global Professional Accountants Convention that is being hosted at one of the finest venues that India has, the Mahatma Mandir, truly embodying the message of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and providing India with a world-class facility to showcase the growing strength, the emerging India, new India that we have. Prime Minister Modi created this when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. He has now taken convention centers to the next level with two new large offerings in New Delhi, the Bharat Mandapam and the Yashobhumi, two large exhibition and convention centers, which now offer an opportunity for all of us to do really big programs at scale in a world-class fashion. So we, as a nation, as both Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Talati were alluding, India is aspiring for much larger goals, for much larger outcomes as we work in the Amrit Kal with a sense of duty, with a collective commitment of 1.4 billion Indians, a commitment which includes shedding the colonial mindset, a commitment which reminds us of our rich heritage, rich traditions, our culture, our value systems, a commitment which talks about the unity and integrity of this country being maintained, and which also recognizes the growing strength of the Nari Shakti, women-led development. But if you recall the words of the Prime Minister on 15th August 2022, when the nation was celebrating 75 years of independence, along with the five commitments, he had added two important elements. One was the Nari Shakti I just alluded to. The other was Bhrashtachar Mukt Bharat, a corruption-free India. And I do believe all of us sitting in this room have the collective commitment, collective consciousness and desire to see India as an honest nation, as a nation where everything works in a transparent fashion, equal opportunity for all, and we can grow in this Amrit Kal, the next 25 years, to become a developed nation, a prosperous nation, where every child born in India gets equal opportunity, good opportunities to become a value creator, a value enhancer. And it is the can-do spirit of every Indian and the can-act spirit of every chartered accountant, the CA spirit, which will take us there, which will make India add at least $30 trillion to our economy, growing to become the third largest economy in the world in the next probably 3 years, at best 4 years, but becoming a $35 trillion economy when we celebrate 100 years of independence. All of us chartered accountants who truly represent a community, who represent a class of professionals very, very committed to contributing in this journey, will be achieving greater laurels in this period. And given the inputs that were given by Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Talati, the fact that we are an ever-evolving institute, our curriculum is continuously remaining up to date, is contemporary. You just alluded to artificial intelligence. We all will have to start appreciating and recognizing that in this changing world, we will have to change fast. We will have to be active change agents ourselves. So the chartered accountant, with a can-act spirit, with a commitment to act, with a commitment to accountability, with a commitment to high standards, will also have to evolve as the years pass, as the world moves forward. It's a tough exam. In fact, I don't know if any of you have seen the movie 12th Fail, in which they talk about the civil services examination. I suspect they have not tried to become chartered accountants. They would realize what a tough exam is like. And we don't even have coaching institutes which falsely project every topper as somebody who has come out of that coaching institute. Of course, we are taking action in the Consumer Affairs Ministry against such misleading advertisements now. But friends, today we have an opportunity, being the largest accounting body in the world, to envision a great future for this profession. You are calculating that we have 100,000 chartered accountants for possibly every $1 trillion of the GDP. I would look at it very differently. We are 400,000, but our strength is articulated in what Honorable Prime Minister said when he came to join us while we were celebrating 50 years, we were celebrating 70 years of the Institute. And I cannot help but repeat, since you have yourself provided us this book, and I was reminded of the words that Honorable Prime Minister had used on 1st July 2017, when the Prime Minister said, "Chartered accountants are like ambassadors of any country's economic affairs." He further went on to say, "Your signature is more powerful than that of a Prime Minister." Your signature is a testimony to the trust in truth. If you certify books of accounts, the government believes in that. The people of the country believe in that. And therefore, friends, I believe the chartered accountancy profession will have to think much beyond auditing, accounting, and certification. I don't know if many of you may not like this suggestion, but I envisage a day where we will be writing to the government to amend the Institute of Chartered Accountants Act and give us some more important functions, leaving the routine auditing and accounting to maybe somebody else. We have the capability, we have the competence, we have the study, we have the knowledge. It is for us to choose whether we are going to accept remaining in the situation, in the kind of work profile that we have done for the last 75 years, or we are going to look at evolving to the next level of this profession. In fact, the India value proposition today provides exciting opportunities, whether it's on the investment side, whether it's on manufacturing, whether it's on our global footprint in terms of international trade. India is growing and will continue to do so. We are the world's fastest growing large economy, expected in the next 30 years to continue to grow at this scorching pace when we will add this $30 trillion. We will remain a young country with an average age of under 30 years for the next 30 years. And therefore it is for all of us, ladies and gentlemen, in these unprecedented times, the VUCA times full of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, that we rethink our agenda, rethink our role in India's future. And I have no doubt that under the decisive leadership of Prime Minister Modi, as this country progresses, so will our profession, remaining abreast with what is happening across the world, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's life, who had said, and I quote, "The true measure of a society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members." And therefore, I would like to suggest for your kind consideration, particularly considering that I believe we need at least 1 million chartered accountants more in this country, at least 1 million more. But this cannot be the preserve of the cities of India. This cannot be limited to the tier 2, tier 3 towns of India. We will need to have this profession becoming more inclusive, reaching the remotest corners of the country. And I want to suggest, if we 400,000 chartered accountants and our firms were to collectively resolve that we will adopt at least one child from every one of the 600,000 villages in the country, one child at least. And the institute can open a portal. We can offer our services to adopt that child. I will be the first to register on that portal. And we not only adopt the child, we mentor him, we guide him, we support him, and help take this profession to the last man at the bottom of the pyramid. Truly a testimony to a noble profession like ours, reaching out to the country, reaching out to our countrymen. And the very good work that the profession has been doing will only get further strengthened with this kind of an effort to make our profession more inclusive and involving sections of society who have hitherto never dreamt of becoming a chartered accountant. And I say this because I have a very live example of 3 weeks ago at Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. After finishing very high-level meetings, I was walking out of the hotel and suddenly a young boy comes and touches my feet. I thought it's a young boy, maybe from India, therefore a little over-enthusiastic. And he started hugging me. I was amazed. He said, I'm a chartered accountant. I've just graduated 2 years ago. I said, what are you doing? I'm doing a job. But these are my parents and my brother. And my father is a driver in Mumbai. I was very happy, very impressed. And then asked the father where he works, what he does. He says, sir, I work in a chartered accountant's firm. Every day I drive my boss to the office, and I thought I must make my son a chartered accountant. He says, I did everything under the sun that was in my power and motivated my child, who's today a chartered accountant. The other boy, incidentally, was an engineer. Look at the commitment of that chauffeur. And the chartered accountant had brought his parents traveling for the first time out of India as a grateful son. Now imagine if 400,000 of us could create one chartered accountant like this. Can you imagine kitne punya ka kaam hoga? The benevolence that you will be receiving for this good work. Just my humble suggestion. I had couple of more thoughts. I don't know, you'll think every time I come to your program, I'll end up giving you more and more work. But I believe we have 400,000 chartered accountants. 40,000 of them are abroad. My own understanding through my work doing free trade agreements or engaging with foreign countries is that the potential for our profession internationally is huge. And we can truly help bring more investment, more technology, great value to our country. Can we think in terms of looking outward, going global, making some of our companies more visible across the world? Maybe have more collaboration, partnerships, mergers, collaborations, combinations, and make world-class companies. We don't need to have only the top 4 in the world coming from other parts of the world. I think the Prime Minister had said we should have at least 4 Indian global companies also. Nothing against the big 4, by the way. I see some of the members sitting here. But we need to have 4 companies at least from India go global. And I would like this to be a takeaway from this global conference. Also, I have requested, Aniket, if we can have automatic membership of chartered accountants as soon as they pass their finals, so we really know those who are in industry, those who are in other professions, and can actually know how much is the contribution of CAs in the Indian economy. Because I do believe that going forward, our role, our work is going to expand manifold. We have a great opportunity. Let's not let that opportunity go by. My best wishes to this wonderful initiative of the ICAI, and I wish this conference all success. May God always be with all of you. I hope we all go back enriched with greater knowledge and greater aspirations to reach for the sky, or now even the sky is low, reach for the moon and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CA Piyush Goyal, for guiding us what direction should the profession take. And very happy to share, sir, that we've got one of the breakout sessions on the theme Emerging Avenues, and I'm sure that the galaxy of speakers will talk about areas beyond accountancy and auditing as well. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to invite the chief guest for the inaugural function of the first ever edition of GloPack, the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, for his inaugural address.
Good afternoon. I come from legal profession. Seem to be a little isolated here. Except me and the Honorable Minister, Praful Pansheria ji, all are chartered accountants. The setting couldn't be more difficult for me. I know chartered accountants in and out. I have greatly benefited out of them. My neighbor in Jaipur was Mr. Sunil Goyal, your past president. Whenever in difficulty, he was always available. When I got into Parliament for the first time, 1989, in Lok Sabha from Jhunjhunu, I had the good fortune to be a minister and had an encounter with Mr. K.N. Memani. He hails from my state, I hail from his state. A very talented man, very methodical, very meticulous in approach, and had no fault lines. I thought the journey will end and my connect with chartered accountants will last only with filing of returns and auditing of my accounts. But chartered accountants ne mera picha nahi choda. I became vice president of the country and by virtue, chairman Rajya Sabha. I have enormously talented chartered accountant as leader of the house. Union Minister Shri Piyush Goyal. Let me tell you, friends, chartered accountants, no chartered accountant perhaps has ever risen in parliamentary setup to this high office. Parliament comprises of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, known as Upper House, the House of Elders. Prime Minister is leader of the Lok Sabha, and Mr. Piyush Goyal is leader of Rajya Sabha. I can assure you, your loss of this very distinguished chartered accountant merit holder is gain of Indian Parliament. But then it's not easy to deal with chartered accountants. God had been very kind to me. And I had the benefit, and I still have the benefit, of former CBDT chairman Mr. P.C. Modi, 1982 batch Indian Revenue Service officer. By virtue of his office as CBDT chairman, he knows how to deal with chartered accountants. This has greatly helped me in getting the best out of Mr. Piyush Goyal. Sri Praful Pancheriya ji, we are together. None of us is a chartered accountant. Madam Asma Resmoki, greetings to this country. You are president of International Federation of Accounts. You have come to this country, home to 1/6 of humanity, in a year where Parliament has passed a legislation providing for 1/3 reservation, horizontal and vertical, for women in Lok Sabha and legislatures. Welcome to this country. Ranjit Kumar Agarwal, we both belong to a category where sometimes people sympathize with us. We are vice president. And friends, I have kept for record, because chartered accountants need record. They don't act without record. One chief minister complimented me on becoming vice president, but addressed me as vice president, V-I-C-E-D. Another very dear friend of mine, I don't know by design or accident, put me in the category of vice president, W-I-S-E. And the third one congratulated me greatly, but forgot to sign it. Why I say so? Signature events in the world are great. They indicate branding. But your signature, friends, is signature. This is unrivaled brand, because this brand contains an element of impregnability. Your signature insulates the vulnerable. That kind of protection, which normally is not available. Aniket Talati, President, I am beholden to him. He became president at the age of 36. I know the problems when you become president at a young age. I was president of the High Court Bar around the same age. So when he introduced his secretary to me, I said, "Are you on the same page?" He said, "Yes, but I know it is ritualistic. Normally they are not." We have in Rajya Sabha a very distinguished chartered accountant, your past president, Mr. N.D. Gupta. Enormously talented, highly decorous, will always obey the chair and never disturb or disrupt the house. His son, Nirav, has also been president. But we have in Aniket Talati, and I'll tell Mr. Andy Gupta, Aniket has stolen March. He has stolen March on a very good ground. He is a third generation chartered accountant. His distinguished father is present in the audience. My greetings to him. His grandfather was part of that system which started a chapter at Ahmedabad. He brings on the table unique DNA that will help the organization for sure. Debashish ji, anything from West Bengal, namaskar. I have been Governor State of West Bengal for 3 years, and I know the power of a gender. But hats off to him. He could pick up the courage and organize my functions, which means he knows how to take risks very safely. Jay Kumar Behra ji, this place, friends, you have very wisely chosen this place. Mahatma Mandir, full of sublimity. Gandhi Nagar, and then state of Gujarat. I salute the land of Gujarat. I salute the land of Gujarat for giving us this day in Amrit Kal. Father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, through Satyagraha and non-violence, got us freedom. Sardar Patel, the Iron Man, a befitting statue of unity, is a tribute to him. He could effect integration of states, princely states, into what is now Bharat. And now, after 3 decades of coalition governance, difficult scenario, I was witness to it. I was a union minister in 1990. Our gold in physical form had to be airlifted, to be pledged to 2 banks in Switzerland to sustain our fiscal credibility. But this man of destiny has elevated India to that level that our foreign exchange today is over 600 billion. India's Prime Minister is a man of vision, execution, and he has a passion which he realizes by putting India on a fast trajectory of growth. As was indicated very rightly by your loss and our gain, Mr. Piyush Goyal. In September 2022, we had the great distinction of becoming the 5th largest global economy, overtaking our erstwhile colonial rulers, UK and France. But what is more important, and which this audience can appreciate, is just a decade ago, we were fragile 5. India was counted amongst fragile 5 nations, a burden to the global economy. And look at where we have come. We have traversed this distance. The words of the IMF president resonate in my ears. I have had the occasion to meet her on 3 occasions in Phnom Penh, Qatar, and G20. India, according to IMF, is a hot favorite destination of investment and opportunity. कहाँ से कहाँ आ गए? What a soothing development. The World Bank president, a person of Indian origin, who came to attend P20, G20 and P20 both, he reflected digital penetration in India, digital accomplishment in India is of a level achieved in 6 years, which is not achievable according to him in 47 years. And why he said so? In 2022, our digital transactions, friends, and no one knows better than those who audit. You audit. In 2022, our digital transactions were 4 times that of USA, UK, France, and Germany taken together. 4 times. Further, per capita data consumption of internet, our record is unrivaled. We are more than that of USA and China taken together. The people in this room are not ordinary individuals. You are nerve center, epicenter of big change. You can catalyze big moment. You will shape what Bharat will be at 2047. It is your efforts, your far-sighted approach, your commitment that will take Bharat at 2047 when it celebrates centenary of its independence and be the most developed nation on the planet, and that is a reality I may not be able to see. Most of you will be able to see because you are foot soldiers in this great rise, incremental growth trajectory of this nation, to see Bharat blossoming and regaining what we had ages ago. Friends, it is an absolute privilege and honor to be amongst you all at the inauguration of the Global Professional Accountants Convention. The thoughtful theme of this convention, connecting the globe, creating value, very thoughtful, is contemporaneously relevant to the dynamics of our economy. Friends, your theme is in sync with the G20 motto, Vasudha Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. We have not created this motto because we were hosting as president G20. It is essence and reflection of thousands of years of our civilizational ethos. We have lived with it, we have worked for it. Let me remind you of a recent event. COVID pandemic bled us, bled the entire world in a non-discriminatory manner. High and mighty, rich and poor all suffered. Even during that time, living up to our motto, one earth, one family, one future, our Bharat extended assistance to about 100 countries by supplying co-vaccine. What a great accomplishment. Institutions are vital for democratic governance, for nurturing of democratic values. But yours is a very special one. it is fortunately playing a stellar role in building, standardizing, and sustaining the financial and accounting framework of the nation. This is vital. If this does not happen, other things will go down the drain. So your role is unique. And any dilution of that will have impact, cascading impact. The motto of ICI, Ya, Yes, Suptesu, Jagdeep. Translated in English, it means a person who is awake in those that sleep. And we have people moved by greed who are not in sleep, they feign sleep. And therefore, you as chartered accountants have to live up to this motto because it encapsulates your role. A chartered accountant, and mind you, a one-time lawyer is saying so. How difficult it must be for me. Having been in the legal profession for over 4 decades, 3 decades being as a senior advocate, I am paying this compliment, moved by your historic achievements. A chartered accountant is an important pillar, a spinal one, in economic growth of the nation. And why? You prevent corruption, malfunctioning. You engage in unraveling of window dressing, detecting frauds in companies and the like. Chartered accountants, as custodians of financial integrity, now this is what I'm indicating, need to exemplify by action to secure transparent and accountable financial system. I say so with emphasis because you alone can do it, no one else can do it. This is your exclusive domain. And this is a very powerful domain because if a chartered accountant stands up, the resistance can be momentary. Ultimately, he has to prevail. That is the power you have. And that is why I said your signature is signature. There can be, now this I am saying with full sense of conviction. Having gained experience in constitutional positions as governor, a chairman, Rajya Sabha, and vice president, apart from being in legal profession for 4 decades. Friends, there can be no legal transgressions or window dressing if chartered accountants are so determined. I have no doubt to serve our Bharat land, to be in service of the nation, to see its incremental trajectory going up, to see Bharat as a developed nation in 2047. Your determination I can read in your eyes. It will be there for the nation. I need to invite your attention to the contemporaneous mechanism of governance that is singularly helpful to you for unleashing your energy, channelizing your wisdom to serve Bharat. You will secure public good. And what is that big change which has taken place in the last 10 years? The man of destiny from Gujarat, tallest leader of the world, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has created an ecosystem where transparency and accountability are new norm. They are not exception. They are general. No one knows better than the audience here. There was a time when power corridors were infested by corrupt elements, liaison elements that extra legally leveraged commercial decision making. They are now fully sanitized. You will not see in power corridors these menacing elements. They are gone for good. They are gone forever. They have been consigned to history. This is one change which will be helping the chartered accountants. Otherwise, corruption is the greatest handicap to a chartered accountant working. Because there will be someone taking your job that I will have it accomplished through corrupt means. But when there is zero accommodation for corruption, chartered accountant blossoms. He can play on front foot with a straight bat. The second big change, be you ever so high, the law is always above you, is often quoted globally to indicate supremacy of law. But this in our country now is a ground reality. And no one is beyond the reach of law. You know it much better than I do. A category of people who entertained a thought that they are above law. Law cannot reach them. They are a special category. They have learned their lessons and the hard way. This is a second big development. And the third, banking inclusion has resulted in game-changing explosion, resulting in unprecedented growth to the benefit of weaker and vulnerable sections of society. We had a Prime Minister, sincere Prime Minister. He spoke the truth in 80s that the amount sent from Delhi, only 10% reaches to the targeted person. The leakage was 90%. Now the mechanism is different. 100% direct transfer is taking place, and this is on account of banking inclusion. Imagine, in last 10 years, over 400 million bank accounts have been opened of those who never thought of being in that position. The accounts were opened at the initiative of the government, and that has paid heavy dividends to us. It has stood us in good stead, both in COVID and otherwise. As a son of farmer, I take pride that in the country, over 11 crore farmers are getting direct transfers 3 times a year. And the amount so far is over 2,60,000 crores. What is important is not that the amount is being sent to them, but what is of supreme importance is that my brothers and sisters in the farming community are enabled to receive that amount direct. That is the big achievement. It is on account of technological penetration. Friends, we had tryst with destiny when we got independence. Parliament met at midnight, August 14, 15, 1947. But the man from Gujarat, the man of the moment for 1/6 of humanity, a global leader, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, did something amazing on the night of 30th of June and 1st July. GST, the largest tax reform since independence, effecting complete transformation of indirect taxation landscape of the country, was unfolded. This was, friends, a qualitative shift. It was our tryst with modernity. I express a deep sense of gratitude to everyone before me for working hard, overcoming hiccups, changing mindset of business, trade, and industry, and giving GST its due. Your efforts fructified. Your efforts made it a game changer, and the goods and service tax was converted by you into good and simple tax. The nation is reaping bountiful gain out of it. I have indicated these factors only because there is now a congenial ecosystem for chartered accountants to play in the joints. They no longer have to battle against a system which could bring their substitutes. You now have no substitute. Your domain is exclusive. Your signature will carry impregnability, and therefore you have a larger role to play. Adherence to a fair taxation and financial reporting system is much more than merely providing revenue to the government. Ethics is important in every walk of life. But if there is dilution of ethics, it has impact for the violator. It has a ripple effect. But when ethics is compromised in a profession like yours, it has a huge cascading impact. It is no less than an earthquake in fiscal world. Ethics is non-negotiable. Ethics is not optional. Ethics is the only way out. Friends, ethics is quintessential to your profession to ensure trust and integrity in financial reporting, auditing, taxation, and consulting services. Out of experience, I can say, chartered accountants in Bharat have the highest ethics quotient. They make several efforts to see their clients adhere to rule of law. They inspire them, motivate them. But now the system has made mechanism more weaponized for you. And you must therefore be not in a suggestion mode, but in the driver's seat. You, as informed members of this important professional category, are fully alive to a situation which the world faced. This was in mid-2022. A global auditing accounting firm of great repute, reckoned to be one of the big 5 or 6. I may be wrong by 1 or 2 slots. It collapsed. It disappeared. This was triggered on account of its questionable accounting practices for an energy and telecommunication company. And what was the underlying premise? In an unqualified manner, it caved in, gave a professional approach, and ingratiated with the management. We in this country have to remember what Gandhiji said. There is everything available for one's need, but not for one's greed. This happened. We have to be on the watch out to see that such like situations are contained. we have to work in a manner to contain this trend, menacing trend, a dangerous trend, a trend that has potential to upset the fiscal ecosystem and impact it very severely on weaker, vulnerable, small tax-paying people. The good thing is that by and large, our chartered accountant fraternity is not part of it. You are above it. But your job doesn't end there. तालाब में एक भी मछली यदि गलत है, you have to sanitize the तालाब. Your fair name, your global reputation has to be preserved by taking care of such elements. I have no doubt, without fear of contradiction, I can assert, if you are firm, you are determined, you believe in your conviction, you think it is in service of Bharat Mata, nothing can stop you from neutralizing such transgressions that breed such menacing scenario. Friends, I am before an audience that has a huge potential to generate exponential growth of the economy. Because you know everything about it. You are beyond X-ray CT scan. You are beyond MRI. You are the finest form of MRI. And therefore, I call upon you, I urge you to nurture the spirit of economic nationalism amongst trade, business, and industry. It pains my heart, like yours, when in a country of this size, our precious foreign exchange is drained out by way of import of furniture, carpets, curtains, diya, candles, whatnot. Economic nationalism cannot be compromised on the premise of fiscal gain. You alone, more than the government or anyone else, can do it by enlightening, sensitizing trade, business, and industry that we must not get into our country what we have here only because it is available slightly cheaper. Friends, let me give you two impacts it has immediately. When we import items that are available in the country from outside, we are injuring employment prospects of some. We are retarding entrepreneurial growth. The Prime Minister in his Mann Ki Baat appealed to everyone, be vocal for local. I am so glad from the podium here, one of you, your current leader, has given this clarion call. I call upon you to engage into this activity and inculcate in the business, trading, and industry community a deep commitment to economic nationalism. Why I appeal to you, unlike others? Because the domain leveraging is done by business, trade, and industry. And no one can have more critical role to sensitize and enlighten them than yourself. Because you know from their balance sheets, you know from their audits, the real situation. Another aspect on which I seek to draw your indulgence for nation's benefit is export of raw material. Now, if a country like ours, with such kind of entrepreneurial skill, such kind of human genius. We go to ports, iron ore being exported, raw material being exported. The writing on the wall is very clear. We are not capable of adding value to our raw material. And we, in fact, are. But because some people think it is easy money, let me send the raw material to another country, they will use it. We will have to develop a culture that we engage in value addition. Our ports will carry material which is value added to raw material and not the raw materials. Friends, as informed professionals, fully involved in evaluation of economic factors, your interventions, unlike other interventions, will go a long way in shaping mindset of industry, trade and business, and thereby ensuring blossoming of economic nationalism, as also motivating trade, business and industry to engage in value addition of raw materials. Think within. No one can do it more efficiently, effectively, impactfully than the people before me. It was indicated here, and I'm so glad it has been done. Not many people know, but you are informed. Time to work towards availing recent groundbreaking technologies and advancements like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Web 3.0, and the kind. India now is one of the few countries that are critically engaged in what we call disruptive technologies. Quantum computing, could you imagine? The number of countries in the world are not in double digit that are engaged in quantum computing. We are. Our quantum mission, there is already an allocation of over 6,000 crores. Our green hydrogen mission, there is already an allocation of more than 19,000 crores. Now it is for you chartered accountants to tell your clients that by 2030, green hydrogen will invite investment of over 8 lakh crores and generate employment for 6 lakh crores. You can be an epicenter to inspire your clients, the corporates, to engage into this activity well in time. Like it or not, disruptive technologies are our bedfellows. We will have to live with them. And therefore, we have to ensure we unleash the positivity. In the digital era, all efforts need to be made by chartered accountants so as to be in the front line of aligning with digital ecosystems. I'm so happy to note that our chartered accountants are doing significantly well in this direction. The emergence of the fintech segment can be a case in point. Friends, I greatly appreciate your endeavors to promote and secure financial inclusion, financial and tax literacy, social security, and pension planning. These are resulting in empowering the common man. These efforts must gain momentum. The greatest challenge these days is that an informed mind, a knowledgeable person, will try to monetize ignorance of others to secure political equity. You can neutralize that. You are well equipped to do that, and I'm sure this is sure to happen. It was in late 80s when I had an encounter, not in that sense, a professional encounter as a young lawyer with a sitting Supreme Court judge who had indicated in one of the judgments that tax planning, tax evasion, and tax avoidance are nearly the same. Go to a chartered accountant well in time. I didn't say Valentine, I said well in time. And you will have good tax planning, sound sleep. If you happen to be a very powerful man, we have before us former CBDT chairman for long, very impactful tenure. It becomes avoidance when you are powerful. But if you are not that powerful, you are vulnerable, it is evasion. Now, things have changed. Tax evasion and financial frauds endanger the financial stability and economic growth of economy. As watchdogs, your capacity is potent enough to contain these. Mind you, a chartered accountant acting spinally with highest ethical standards, no challenge can undo his endeavors. Others will have to fall in line. A very small fraction, if gets out of the line, cannot pick up courage to challenge because you are on a firm ground. The Honorable Minister, we came together. He told me, you are a lawyer, don't be harsh with chartered accountants. Well, no one can be against chartered accountants. I have been a very disciplined taxpayer, did everything according to my chartered accountant, and if there has been a notice, there was one during his tenure. Chartered accountant say, please pay. So I'm in a compliant board. But I am making it very mild because it is not good for me to ignore leader of the House in Rajya Sabha. But at the same time, I wear the other hat of Vice President of India. So I cannot miss the great opportunity of interacting with such minds who alone can deliver to the exclusion of everyone else. And I therefore say, a tax system is only as good or as complicated as you make it. You are the ultimate architect of it. Take a pledge to be a global leader in benchmarking best practices that enhance ease and transparency. As Governor of State of West Bengal, I was heading a group of 10 governors to give a report on ease of governance in business. So that was my first encounter about the difficulties which business people face. Because I was a professional. Filing a return for me was not that difficult, no complicated. And we came out with a good report, getting able assistance from Niti Aayog. Advising on tax planning is your domain, as there is a domain for legal professional also to advise a client. But this domain has a line, a thin line. This should not extend to tax dodging and tax evasion. Now this thin line, you know it more than I do. You are the custodians of thin line between tax planning and evasion. Always tilt in favor of tax planning and condemn tax evasion. Friends, I am confident that ICAI and its members will keep up efforts to move ethically towards building a nation defined by ethical financial reporting and tax compliance. White-collar crimes don't leave behind a smoking gun. They leave behind broken families, hearts, and a shaken confidence. You are potent antidote and not medically evolved by your profession. You are a potent antidote to this pernicious mechanism. We need to be alive more vigilantly to this particular area. As pillars of financial ecosystem, the chartered accountant should embark on a journey of further transformations in shaping the new and resilient profession, which is driven by ever-evolving technology. Some of the people may find adaptation of technology to be difficult. But you are the ones who converted GST into good and simple tax. The nation would ever be beholden to chartered accountant fraternity for doing this yeoman service to 1/6 of humanity. You are capable of doing it. Time for soul searching and reflections. Scratch beyond the surface by incisive probe those who are concerned with auditing balance sheets. By and large, a large number is doing it transparently, effectively. But if there is a small segment, I wouldn't say segment, the number is too small. It can't be a segment. You have to pinpoint it. Like legal profession, you have a strong professional mechanism to deal with such delinquencies. Then tilt towards national interest and not individual welfare. Your being harsh to the individual will reflect your kindness to the nation. In the global theater of outsourcing financial and accounting processes, India is emerging as global hub on the premise of its outstanding human resource. The contributions of ICAI in this endeavor, very, very commendable, result-oriented. I was so happy to note the statistics in this behalf. All your efforts, silent efforts, they are making big noise in a positive sense. We can continue being proactive in that area. This congregation of more than 4,000 professionals, and you are unlike any other profession. You are unique. You are distinct. You are never in search of work. The work is searching you. So you have that kind of stability. So this congregation, in such large number, more than 4,000, from across the globe, in this convention is a valuable opportunity for all stakeholders to discuss, deliberate, interact, know each other's point of view, and in the process evolve best practices that can make a difference to the economy in a positive sense. This convention for sure will prove to be a true window to the future in relation to global accounting standards and practices as envisioned by leadership of the organization, its various partners from financial and accounting sectors across the world. To conclude, I think I said the right time to conclude. Sometimes this expression to the conclude is very wholesome, soothing. But problem arises, and which I faced in Rajya Sabha. It is meant only to get lease of another 30 minutes. This will not happen here. Friends, I am energized, motivated, inspired. I carry from this place hope, optimism, and confidence that ICAI will continue to make its mark on the global canvas for further enrichment and enhancement of the accounting and auditing standards and ethical integrity at national and global level. Wishing the convention a great success and best wishes to all of you. Jai Bharat.